Young Corpse TV, my name is Dean. Thank you for tuning in today. Special episode. I'm pretty excited, I'm sure as everybody is. Guilds of Ravnica release weekend. Did you participate? I did, and I played Dimir. We're gonna go over the deck, we're gonna go over some upgrades, and let's talk some shop after the break. And Guilds of Ravnica pre-release weekend. Don't know about you guys, but man, number one, had a blast. I think the set itself, quick review, fantastic. Super fun, rich synergies, the different color combinations. You're definitely going to play two, but actually 3 colors is super playable. You can definitely make it happen. However, I stuck with pure Dimir. I wanted to maybe dip into some Sultai, get some bigger beef on the board. However, the green creatures that I opened in my pool weren't that great. Before we dive into the specifics of the cards, I just really want to touch on the art direction for the kits themselves real quick. Absolutely love it. Dimir set symbol, each themed, obviously, but extra points for the spin down die. Usually with these sets, you get the generic 5 colors. It's like, ugly colors. Every set has the same, and it just has a set symbol on it, so they kind of lose their luster after a long time. But I gotta say, for the custom spin down dies in this set, awesome. Blue-black, black type, got the custom speckle, looks dope. Just had to get some points right there. Now let's talk about the deck itself. Awesome synergy, so let's talk about just some breakdowns real quick. 6 swamps, 8 lands, islands, 2 guild gates, 15 creatures, and the rest are other spells. I felt like this was doing pretty good with the surveil mechanic. It guaranteed that the creatures, you're fishing through your deck, you're kind of finding what you need. The instants and sorceries help that as well. So I went with 16 lands, 15 creatures. Might be a little light in that department, but let's go ahead and start with the top of the curve. Engine. Everything's doing surveil. So for the 1-drop, the Thought-Bound Phantasm, getting this out turn 1, turn 2 is absolutely amazing. Whenever you surveil, you put a 1/1 counter on this, it's a defender. After it gets 3 1/1 counters, it loses a defender, and you can potentially get more and more 1/1 counters. So great 1-drop, 2/2 for 1 as it is as a defender is pretty good beef to start blocking some chump block stuff. Get that surveil going super easy, super fast. Night Veil Sprite. Amazing card. 2-drop, it's a flyer. Whenever this card attacks, you surveil. So this is guaranteeing that you're going to get surveil triggers multiple times each turn. A lot of my creatures have surveil built in. This card was an all-star. Guild Mage, awesome. This black-blue 2-drop, absolutely runs the entire deck. I only had one of these, but every time it got out, it absolutely did work. 1 in a blue tap. Target creature does not untap during its controller's next untap step. Shuts down some big creatures. However, for 2 in a black and a tap, surveil 2. Guaranteed to surveil every turn that this card is available to tap, and that is just getting things bigger with the Phantasm. So we got 2 kind of surveil generators that kind of on a stick. You get that going and going. My promo for the deck, I absolutely had to go into Dimir exclusively when I saw this card. Lazov, the Multifarious. Amazing 2-drop. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. So that's awesome. And then the X is basically you can copy a creature from the graveyard, and so when you're surveilling, you're going to put your creature more expensive stuff in the graveyard early, and then late game, you're guaranteed to play it. Awesome stuff. And even for these other utility creatures, copying another Guild Mage, copying another Phantasm is guaranteeing that you're going to have payoffs for the surveil. Surveil, I gotta say, it was super amazing. Did awesome work for me. Another surveil synergy card, Whispering Snitch. 1 in the black. Whenever you surveil, the first time each turn, opponent loses a life, you gain a life. It's a 1/3. It's a great blocker. It's a 2-drop. Love the card. Love vampires too, so that was an awesome auto include. Now for my last 2 drops, let's talk about synergy. Let's talk about getting value. 2 Dimir Spybugs. 1 was in the seeded pack. Was lucky enough to break another one. And Flying Menace 2/2. It's a 1/1 flyer. However, whenever you surveil, you put a 1/1 flyer onto this bad boy. And with our other synergies and our other triggers, these, every time I play them, I at least got them to a 3/3. And once you get them above a 4/4, 5/5 range against the Golgari deck, the rare board wipe got me a few times. And getting these above that threshold of 4/4, that just does amazing work. So 2 drops are a little heavy, but I will talk about it at the end. If anything, I needed more bombs. I needed some more end stuff. Didn't quite get there, but I will say the deck did perform. Let's talk about 3-drops. I got two Darkblade Agents, some more synergy. As long as you surveilled this turn, Agent has Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat, draw a card. So with our Guild Mage and that thing as well, or actually the other 2-drop, when you attack, you can attack with this as well, and it guarantees that you can surveil before combat and turn these guys on. 3/3, 2/3 with Death Touch, card draw. Awesome stuff. Got 2 of those, very lucky. Now, I didn't get to go green, like I said. I wanted to get into some Sultai stuff. Yeah, make sure you didn't skip any. But I got a little Golgari Warrior. We got the Pitless Gorgon. Did pretty good work, man. 2/2, Death Touch. Having this early as a chump blocker, get rid of some big creature late game. You can copy Lazov in a pinch if you need to block, to kind of pull this from the graveyard. Or, you know, it's just a good card to have some Death Touch to kind of get in there and stop that kind of stuff. Awesome blocker. Another Dimir Informant. Let's talk about Surveil synergies. It's a 1/4. I gotta say, the 1/4 body on this, amazing for blocking, especially against like Boros decks early on. You get this out turn 3. The card does work, and as soon as it enters the battlefield, you surveil. So you're surveilling 2, and it's just a great card. Did good stuff for me as well. This now is really kind of, you know, scratching the bottom of the barrel as far as creatures go. Not the best, I gotta say. This was kind of probably the worst card in the deck. However, I was really stretching. It's for 3 mana. It's a 3/1 jumper, so it gets flying whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. I have a lot more spells in this deck, so this got turned on twice, but every time I got it out, I basically just use it to chump block something big and kind of trade. So not the best usage of a slot. I'll show you what I had in my graveyard. Maybe you might be able to tell me what I should have played instead, but that's what I went with. Potential flyer as well was awesome. Flying synergy there. Basically a 3 black, 3/1 vanilla flyer. Nothing too crazy there, but it's a 3/1 in the air. Late game does damage in limited areas, I found out. So yeah, the card did pretty good. Not too terrible. My 5-drop, Watcher in the Mist. Love this card. It's a 5, double blue. However, in the 2-colored Dimir deck, that was never an issue. Flying, when this enters the battlefield, surveil 2. It's a 3/4 flyer. Big beefy body. Can block a lot of stuff. Great card. Now, kind of the reason why I wanted to dip into green so bad is because I really wanted to use some of the Undergrowth Golgari synergies with all of this surveil, getting those creatures into the graveyard that you need. Didn't have a lot of creatures, but this actually won me 2 games. I had enough creatures to deal damage, and then he flashes in second main phase. When this enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each target opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. So it's kind of the late game bomb. The whole idea is kind of like get that surveil engine going. I probably could use a little bit more beef. I could have done a little bit better in that regard, but I feel like the engine got going very often in every match. It was a good play. So let's go ahead and talk about my instants and sorceries. This is kind of like my removal package, kind of a huge selection of removal. Let's go ahead and talk about Mephitic Vapors, 2 and a black. All creatures get -1/1 until end of turn. There's a lot of 1/1 white weenie strategies, a lot of like mentor tokens and stuff. You can use this before they even get those going. Kind of a mini board wipe. However, I played it for the surveil too. Just having the ability to, in your hand, cast a surveil when you need to triggers a lot of stuff going on. So this card did some work for me. Had not a lot of counters, I gotta be honest. Depending, I have 1 in the sideboard, since I have so much more targeted removal that way. I only went with 2, and then depending, I would swap in with, because the other counter I had was a little expensive. So I had 2 Devious Covers up, 1's in the sideboard, Devious Cover up, 2 and 2 blue, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it, which is good. Get a card out of the graveyard so people cannot recur it. And you may shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard into your library. So pretty cool. So if people, board wipe you, you cast, you counter some stuff, you get your good stuff back into your library and your 40-card deck. Potentially get it out pretty soon. Disdainful Stroke, dope counter. It's 2-drop. However, I would probably never use this unless you keep your counters for things 4 or greater anyways. So every time I use this, I needed it, I had it, did work. Just counters, counters do good stuff. Capture Sphere. Once the creature gets out on the board, this basically shuts them down. You flash it in and enchant the creature. It taps and does not untap during its untap step. Artful Takedown. Blue, black 2. Basically choose one or both. I don't know why you would not choose both if there's 2 targets, but tap target creature. Target creature gets -2, -4 until end of turn. It's good, it's common, but in these limited environments, when they got 2 or 3 creatures on the board, you play this card, you get rid of 2 blockers, and you kind of swing for the win. Good card. Double Deadweights. Deadweights do great work. 1 drop kind of neuters big creatures, buffs them down a little bit, and it kills stuff. So got 2 of those. Awesome stuff. So the removal package was sweet. Notion Rain was the other card. Surveil 2, draw 2 cards. So it's card draw. Surveil Engine did work. Like it. And my last card was Gruesome Menagerie. Awesome card. Basically, you get the board wipe. See, some of the creatures were kind of low. However, I got a lot of 1, 2s, and 3 drops. They hit you with the board wipe. You cast Gruesome Menagerie, and you get a CMC 1, 2, and 3 back onto the battlefield. No mana cost. For 5, pretty good card. That was my rare. Now, that was the deck. I feel like it did pretty good. I feel like the shell did pretty good. I think I might turn this into a standard deck. One of my bonus packs I got, which I think will be an auto include, lucky enough to pull Doom Whisperer. I think that in the strategy is going to be an auto include. Flying Trample, pay 2 life, Surveil 2. So you can actually surveil multiple times on a turn without tapping this creature. You can say if you have life to spare, surveil 5 times and buff up your 1/1s, get all those things going. This card is absolutely going in. That was the bonus pack. Now, as far as other cards in my pre-release kits, I was very disappointed that I got 3 amazing Boros rares and mythics. Yeah, mythics, more than 1. I wanted to play these cards, however, with my Lazav and just some of these strategies going on, I just could not play Dimir. And I don't think you can splash another guild if you're not sharing at least 1 color. So these cards are pretty painful. But let's talk about Ariella. I don't even know how to say that. Ariella, Exemplar of Justice. Yes, that's a foil. That's a foil mythic. Amazing card. Flying Mentor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn. That creature gets +2/0, gains Trample if it's red, gains Vigilance if it's white. Dope card. Yeah, there's just no Mentor synergy. I thought maybe I might have another Mentor deck, like a Boros Mentor deck in the sideboard, but literally no Luminous Bonds, no good red removal. I just couldn't force Boros. That being said, my other pack rare was Respawn Resurgence. Respawn deals 5 damage to target attacking blocking creature. Good for 2. Great removal. And then for 3 in Boros, creatures you control gain first strike, vigilance until end of turn. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Bonus turn. Are you kidding me? Chance for Glory. Creatures you control gain indestructible. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of the game, at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. So potentially, you get Ariel on the board, you get some Mentor creatures out, you drop Resurgence, you get an additional combat phase, you play this for your 3rd combat phase, you win the game. Maybe I should have played it, I don't know. Literally garbage Boros cards. No good creatures, no good removal. I feel with the removal package, this was the way to go. However, Boros in the back, Dimir in the front. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I did. Performance-wise, I'll save it for the end of the video. If you made it this far, we're pretty casual. I went 1 and 3. Not amazing. I will say, though, that every match I played against, I definitely, we went to 3. Went to time a couple of times. Had some amazing matches. A little susceptible to board wipes unless you get that Gruesome Menagerie out. It's not guaranteed. The deck did work. I think this is a good shell. I want to take this into standard and turn this into a standard deck. Maybe get some Muldrotha in there. Definitely go Sultai and get that graveyard synergy going. How'd you guys do? Who'd you play? Well, who's your guild? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what I should upgrade. I'm thinking about taking this build into standard. I'm getting some multiple copies of some things. We're getting definitely a play set of Guild Mage, I would think. A couple other good cards in here. Remove some stuff, add some green. Let me know in the comments what you would add. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dean. This is Young Corpse Television. Hit subscribe, hit like, tell a friend, and until the next time, crack some packs. Let me know how it goes.